those different things.
That is true. Now, living in a tough neighborhood, or you grew up in, your family, I mean, were your parents strict, or were they very, open to you going out at night, doing things? How was your upbringing?
Well, my parents are pretty strict because, I mean, of course, my father being a pastor, but luckily my eldest brother, got the full brunt of it. And then he kind of warmed up my father and my mother, my second brother, and then my third brother. So when it came to me, they were kind of like, dude, I give up.
Yeah.
You just do what you want to do. But no, I mean, they trusted me a lot. And so I still remember when I was really young, I never had a curfew. They never really told me to do anything because they trusted me. They trusted, because I studied hard and yada, yada, yada. But what ended up happening was that I kind of fell into the wrong crew in middle school. And they started seeing my grades drop. And they started seeing who I was sort of hanging out with. And so they put the clamp down on me. And so starting from there, they were kind of, they were watching over me. But generally, I mean, they weren't really strict, but they weren't also like really just, do whatever you want either, because they're Korean.
Yeah.
How can you? They still wanted me to be a doctor.
Oh, I see. Well, okay, let's throw you that question. If you weren't a singer, what do you think you would be?
That's so hard because music was such a big part of my life and is a part of my life. But say, for instance, if I didn't have music, I mean, I guess I would probably be maybe a pharmacist or a doctor or something of that sort. I see myself just doing it because I think my parents wanted me to do.
Yes.
But music is, I mean, I can't really imagine music not being part of my life, so.
Yeah.
I
could see that, yeah. Definitely in your family, everyone's a little bit musically inclined.
Actually, yeah, everyone. They all love music and they all do music, so.
That's incredible. I'm curious to know, what was it like growing up with 4 other brothers? Tell me about your childhood of that.
I think there were a lot of goods and a lot of bads. When you were young, I think you'd probably remember more of the bads than the goods. When you get older, you appreciate it more. But I mean, it was tough because I had my eldest brother, he was 7 years older than me. My second brother, he was 5 years older than me. And then the older brother above me, he was only a year and a half, almost 2 years older than me. So we were close, and our eldest brother and second brother were close. But they would make us do everything. Like, I still remember, like, they beat on us. I don't want to, sound so, I don't want to make them look so bad, but.
They might be watching this program,
They should be watching this program. But, no, seriously, like, I'd be outside, like, running around, and me and my brother Danny were, like, playing, like, all the way down the street, like, 2 blocks away.
Yeah.
Like, playing baseball, having so much fun. And all of a sudden, you hear this scream in the distance, like, Danny! And you hear this, like, is somebody listening? And all of a sudden, you're like, dude, is that Dave or is that Paul? Like, is that our brothers calling us? Like, dude, and we start going closer and we hear from a distance that it's our names, right? So we start running in, like, thinking that something really big happened. What? So we run inside and we're like, what's wrong? He's like, go downstairs and get my laundry.
They called you all the way back.
Tell me about it.
Because you're young.
Yeah.
They were older than you.
It's good to be the young or good to be the king, right? So it's kind of the same thing. But so we got hard training. They made us make them their lunch, for school, and they trick us by saying, "Dude, you make the best sandwich," and they're like, "Really?" and make the sandwich for them. But
sometimes they joke and give you $1 for like 2 pennies
money.
or something like that.
No money. They don't give us any money. They just give us a beat down sometimes. But but in the end, and then definitely on the good side though, having an older brother, if somebody messes with you, like dude, I have my older brother. I'm gonna tell my brother.
It's like your whole Huang gang, the Huang gang coming off.
So there was definitely a good side to it. But when you grow up, when you were young, it was like, oh man, I want them here. They go to college. But then once they went to college and started coming back, you started missing them.
Yeah.
And then now we get older, we see how awesome that relationship is, and maybe we don't have the best of memories sometimes when they beat on us, but even within that, you see like how we got so close, and you know, now we're all like really close, and it's just fun having brothers like that to talk to and stuff, and play ball with, and
wow.
So.
Now I hear your mother, because earlier we were speaking about your mother raising, you know, 4 or 5 or 6 men all together. The Story of Living with 6 Men was her book.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about your mother and this book?
Well, my mother, she is very, how do I put this? Like, she's very charismatic. Like, all the gifts that maybe we have right now definitely comes from our mother. The musical side, my father definitely sings too, but a lot of the musical side comes from my mom, and just her charisma and just as she approaches people, and she's probably one of like my biggest, when I was young, she was like my biggest mentor too.
Wow.
But she wrote this book about 6 men in our life. People misunderstood.
Yeah.
Like, who is this crazy girl? But seriously, she had to raise up 6 men.
Yeah.
Her husband, my father being one, and then 5 boys, you know. And the story, just the book, is about how God's hand was in her life, and how like each child's story, each experience she had, there was so much, sometimes it was so hopeless and so dark, but then somehow God brought it out and showed her hope, and gave her thanks and joyfulness and thankfulness in her heart. And so she started, you know, in that, just testifying to God's grace in her life, and how she, you know, God just took all those, you know, even me, because she says that I was a mistake.
Oh.
Yeah, my mother told me I was a mistake.
I was a mistake too,
Yeah.
or to turn out to be a man.
She wanted me to be a daughter.
Okay.
But, you know, even if I did come out, and when I did come out, I was a man, I was a boy, so I was a huge mistake. But even in that, the book, it's written in the book too, that, you know, through that too, God showed her that, you know, it wasn't her plans, it's God's plans, you know. And so that book was pretty much just testifying God's grace in her life, and it was awesome. And even reading about it and listening to her and her stories and stuff, it's pretty amazing. You get to respect your mother so much more, and what she went through, you know, especially with the whole immigration, and how immigrating from Korea to the States, leaving her oldest child in Korea for 3 years, while having her second in the States, and then meeting. It was just, a lot of stuff that happened. So.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
More power to your mother.
Power to her, girl.
Other than singing and other talents, I mean, I hear you're pretty athletic. What's your favorite sport?
You know, I love everything. I love sports. I love competing. I mean, I'm not a crazy competitor, but